So very recently, Toyota revealed the next-gen Tacoma, which I will now only refer to as the Taco, as that would honestly be a much better name. Anyways, this new Taco is here to replace the incredibly durable, albeit also rapidly aging previous gen Tacoma, and I think Toyota has absolutely aced it. So let's dive into the next-gen Taco and figure out if it is really going to live up to the legendary history of the Taco. Now, before I go any further, I'm not going to touch the taco driver jokes, you hear me? So no jokes about how all taco drivers' diets consist of only tofu and granola, or how all taco drivers' wives have boyfriends, or how every taco driver's wardrobe consists only of LL Bean and Patagonia. And I definitely don't want to see any of those jokes in the comments at all, okay? Anyways, moving on. So to understand the legendary history of the Taco, we need to rewind the clocks a little bit. The Taco is the successor to the legendary Hilux, which was sold here as a Toyota pickup. I swear to God, Toyota actually just called it the pickup. 10 out of 10 for creativity. You'd expect that from a German company, you know? Not really Toyota. Anyways, it's a mid-sized truck made for the US market. It made its debut all the way back in 1995 and came with some key differences, mainly an emphasis on a better interior, more comfortable ride quality, and overall more use as a daily driver, as opposed to the Hilux, which is widely known as being a bare-bones, rugged utility truck. However, now that Americans had a taste of the rigid Hilux, they still wanted the dependability of the pickup with comfort of the new wave of American luxury pickups, which I hate. Quick sidetrack. Understand just how big of an oxymoron that is. Pickups are these farm, utility, and work vehicles. There is no need for these dumb-ass luxury pickups, as they have skyrocketed truck prices for people who actually need to use them, but I digress. Anyways, for any company, that's a pretty tall order, but for Toyota, I mean, they aren't exactly known for their pickups when compared to American brands like Ram and Ford, but when you have pockets as deep as Toyota, you can kind of just throw money at the problem until it solves itself. And to this day, even first-gen Tacos are widely known for being some of the most durable vehicles ever made, right up there with those AMC Jeeps. The type of vehicle you can literally drive to hell and back without it breaking a sweat and still have it start up the first try without fail. The only real major problem is frame rot, and to be fair, it is a pretty big problem. Big enough that Toyota issued a recall for them to fix the issue, because as seen here, the truck would sooner literally rot than have the engine die. The first gen Tacos sold very well, and they became a massive hit in the States, with everything from base bare bones trucks for real work all the way up to off-road assassins in the form of the TRD line. There really was something for everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone. In the early 2000s, performance trucks were taking off. Trucks like the Ford Lightning / Harley Davidson edition and the Ram SRT10 and more were massive hits. Seeing this, Toyota didn't want to miss out and gave us what is probably not only my favorite trim of the Taco, but favorite performance truck as a whole, the X-Runner. Now, in base form, the X-Runner didn't actually get any engine upgrades and had the same 236 horsepower as your average run-of-the-mill Taco. However, that doesn't mean it didn't come with some serious goodies. In the rear, to help with the fact that there is next to no weight over the rear wheels, Toyota gave the chassis X-bracing, which if you don't know, helps massively with chassis rigidity and cornering. And it also got a ton more support bracing to make this a proper, stiff competition truck really meant for the track. But it doesn't end there. A functional hood scoop helped the V6 breathe, and was also accompanied with tweaks to the Bilstein suspension. And the creme de la creme, in my opinion, is the functional ground effects kit. To give you an idea of how insane ground effects are, they essentially suck the truck down to the ground harder than a middle schooler sucks a jewel, with that suction helping it stay planted in the corners. And it's such an insane idea that it was actually banned from F1 for decades, and to this day a ton of racing series still have it banned, as it literally makes cars too fast. But it still doesn't end there, as you could option a big brake kit, which got you massive Stop Tech engineered brakes to help bring this beast to a standstill faster than you could even comprehend. The final big trick up this truck's sleeve, though, is that you could get a dealer installed, warranted, root style supercharger, which helps bring the horsepower output up from the OEM 236 horsepower all the way up to 300 horsepower, and torque up to a monstrous 345 foot-pounds, which granted, in today's day and age doesn't sound like a lot. However, this thing was feather light, and like I said before, incredibly rigid. So that 300 horsepower paired with all of that meant that around a track, this thing got down. So with all of that amazing stuff, when Toyota announced that they would be revealing the 4th gen N400 chassis code Taco in 2023, people were understandably eager yet skeptical. This is a truck that even up until this year has seen little to no changes, and for a very good reason. Like I keep saying, these Tacos are known for being able able to take a serious beating, and in today's day and age, with the amount of tech that consumers demand from their vehicles, it's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to deliver a truly rugged, built-to-last vehicle. And to be fair, we won't know for years if this will really live up to the hype that the Taco has built for itself, but so far, this next-gen Taco looks really promising. This next-gen Taco carries over a lot of trim levels from the previous gen, 6 to be specific, from the base model SR all the way up to the TRD Pro and everything in between. There's even a returning trim level we haven't seen since the first-gen Taco, the TRD Prerunner, a special two-wheel drive variant designed for off-roading. Now I hear you, that sounds really dumb. Why the hell would you go out of your way to get a ton of off-road goodies if your truck is two-wheel drive? Well, the answer is actually way cooler than you might think. See, what a lot of people don't realize is that most Prerunners and Baja trophy trucks are traditionally two-wheel drive. And think about it, no one else offers a two-wheel drive pre-running truck. I mean, there are some trucks that are similar in spirit, like the Nissan Frontier Pro X and the Ram TRX, but those aren't really pre-running trucks, whereas this Taco is. This is made for high-speed desert racing, not just driving, but racing, and is built to take an absolute pounding on those desert trails. There is another new trim coming for this next-gen Taco as well, and unlike the Prerunner, it's entirely new. Say hello to the Trailhunter. This is a trim level specifically made for overlanding, which is essentially using your vehicle to get to places you wouldn't normally be able to go and camp there, which just sounds amazing. This is literally stuffed to the brim with goodies to help ensure you can really get anywhere and make your camping experience as easy as possible. First off, Toyota has partnered with legendary Australian outfit ARB for their suspension setup, using old man emu shocks. They have made suspension that can take the most brutal beatings on the planet and just keep going like nothing happened. And say for the sake of argument, you do hit that rock obstacle just a little too quick and you're worried you might damage something. Well, don't, as the Trailhunter has solid steel skid plates for the oil pan, transmission, and rear diff, which also, by the way, is electronically lockable. Rock rails are used on the side to help protect your precious paint job from those scary rocks, along with massive knobby off-road tires to help make sure you get grip on any and all surfaces. Moving back to the front, shoved in right next to all the suspension goodies is a first for the Taco, a front disconnecting sway bar, which helps ensure you can get maximum suspension articulation over any obstacle. A factory intake snorkel is also optional, although I highly doubt it comes with the necessary waterproofing for the electronics, but I do hope I'm wrong. Overland specific goodies are here as well, like LED lighting that surrounds the truck and a factory installed onboard electric air compressor, which for those who know is essentially a lifeline in overlanding. You can also get dealer sold camping gear and goodies. No word yet on what specifically you can get, but I'd imagine that it's probably going to be grossly overpriced. Although from what I understand, and I could be wrong, they will be covered under a factory warranty, which is pretty good. And I do know for a fact that you can add it on to your truck payment. The other off-road TRD models get similar tech goodies in terms of suspension, tires, and skid plates, with the top trim level TRD Pro even getting shock absorbers in the seats to help with cushioning on extreme obstacles. They just don't come with the overland specific goodies like the air compressor. Now, not just the Trailhunter, but others like the TRD Pro, Prerunner, and other high trim off-road models will be option standard with an 8-speed automatic, which is a godsend, as that 6-speed auto in the last truck, while reliable, was a rough transmission. The engine mated to that though is where the fun really begins. You get a turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with a hybrid battery setup, which will be good for 326 horsepower and the real kicker, 465 foot-pounds of torque. And a truck as small as this, dude, that could probably propel you over Mount Everest without so much as breaking a sweat. But I hear you, all that tech doesn't sound very Taco-like, and for that, Toyota does have you covered. You can get select trims with just the 4-cylinder pumping out a respectable 278 horsepower. But the thing that has most of us screaming like kids who just won their first Fortnite match is that you can get it mated to a factory 6-speed manual transmission. And it's not like it's only available in the base models, as you can get some of those sought-after TRD models with the 6-speed, which is really great news from Toyota. Personally, I can appreciate both, as if I were to get one, I'm honestly kind of split between the two styles, as that added torque from the hybrid powertrain can really help in sticky situations, but at the same time, that's just more stuff to go wrong on the trails. And a new off-road truck with a manual transmission is hard to come by nowadays. Overall though, this is going to be facing extremely stiff competition. This year, the performance light truck market has been lit up with amazing trucks like the Ranger Raptor and the soon-to-come Colorado ZR2 Bison. But with its overland-specific goodies, shock-absorbing seats, and first-in-class disconnecting sway bar, I know the Gladiator has it. I've said it a million times. The Gladiator is a failed abortion of a Wrangler, and I loathe its mere existence. Anyways, this new Taco isn't just good, it may be literally the GOAT of the light truck game. And for once, Europe doesn't get a cool vehicle, and only we do, so suck it.